Good morning, folks. It's Jules, and it's very early Sunday morning. Here to do a video. We're going to do the Bears today. It's football Sunday, even though I don't really watch much football anymore, but it's football Sunday, and it's time to stitch on some Bears project here. Partially because I actually was stitching on this last night, and I thought, I could get so much more done if I do a little bit more, and I end up kind of filling in some spots here. Oop, let me clean my glasses because, good gracious, they are dirty. Oh boy, but I've stitched a fair bit, but I haven't stitched on a lot of different things. I've just stitched a lot on a few, which has helped. Rainy Waterloo Place almost got a page finish on it. Reaper stitched a ton on it, and now I'm working on this one. As you can tell, what I've done so far since the last time that I showed this to you guys, I filled in a little bit on the inside here. I filled in the orange on the top part of the lettering up here, and I filled in some more all over here. So I actually have already stitched what I would say is what I would normally do for a week on a project, especially like this one. But I'm gonna do a little bit more just to get that much more progress done. But I brought all this stuff up, and I haven't even really figured out what I'm going to be doing just as of yet. So I could just end up doing a ton of wait, where's that letter? Where's the letter C? Oh, there it is. Now we're going to do the letter C, and that's going to help us fill in a fair bit. C is 414. So my next one, I want to, after I do this one and I do some more, today is going to be a day of I really need to do more work on the website, and I need to do the blog, the stitching blog, and I need to do a lot of work on the bee blog. And I was going to do it yesterday. I had the day off, but we went and visited the bees yesterday, and we saw I took some videos and a bunch of pictures, and it's basically just material for the blog, so we can get some more stuff up on both the YouTube page and the actual blog, because I've really fallen behind on that. But the other thing, so we did that, and then we came home, and then we were tired, and kind of slept all afternoon, and then got up and stitched. So didn't get any other things done. It was a nice relaxing day. Gosh knows you need those every once in a while. Alright, so if I am doing the letter C here, C. Oop, I already did it there without realizing it. So I got G and O here. I can go back and fill in all this other lettering, but for right now I'm just going to fill in this stuff first, and then I can go back and fill in all that little stuff up there. But first I got to figure out where I'm at. The hard part is when you have a colored, I'm just going to show it real quick, a colored picture thing like this, it makes it so hard to mark off what you've done. And it's the one thing that I really dislike. Now, technically, I suppose I could make a black and white photocopy of this and take it off. I could. I just thought of that. You guys are like, you just make a photocopy. And, yeah, no. All right. I may have already done this color. And, oh, no. Hold on. Hang in there. Stay on target. Because sometimes I use a pen for this. Okay, I'll start right here. So there is a cross stitcher that I need to link below. She's got a floss tube. I believe, I don't really know for sure exactly where she hails from, although I believe it might be somewhere in Asia, Far East. She does exquisite work, and she uses a frame. Oh my God, it's hypnotic. But I'm gonna link it below because she's one of the floss tubers that I have linked to, but She doesn't talk in any of her videos. She just simply stitches. And that's awesome. I got hair all over this stuff. I gotta say, and I will fully admit, I'm not 100% sure exactly why. Maybe I'm not using a small enough needle. This project looks okay. This project looks fairly decent. But when you look at Reaper up close, man, I am like, the stitch quality on it, it's not very good for some reason. And I don't know why. I don't know, again, like it said, if it's just, I shouldn't have done it on an 18 count, or I'm getting all like the fuddy-duddy in me is getting to be a point where I'm like, I don't want to do 18 count. But I think it's probably like the needle size. When I push the needle through, I'm not making like even that. Look, I just did there. Oh, why do I have this over here? And sometimes it's probably just going a little too fast too. Not taking my time. I mean, the overall effect still looks really good. But when I look up close, I'm like, oh gosh, what have I done? Well, not what have I done, but... So I don't like, you know, and I don't especially like stitching with small needles either. I'm so particular. So particular. But anyway, so yesterday, the other thing I was doing was my little elf has given me a few more names to put on the list, but it's time to actually put the list into a more readable format, I should say. I would say a table format where you don't have to scroll like all the way down through everybody's names, but it's like it's 3 across and then however many down in a table format with each letter. So like yesterday I did all of the letter A and all of the letter B, and I put them on one page of just like one page by itself. And I've changed the blog. So if you go look at the blog at stitchingjules.com, you'll see that there's now the A's and the B's are gone from the master list, and they have their own page where everything looks nice and neat, and it's a lot easier to see and get to. That's what I'm going to do with the rest of the list as well. It's just going to make it, I think, so much easier for people to use and for folks to be found. I think it's going to be the best thing for everybody. It's just going to be, you know, a lot of work to kind of move everything over. But I want to do it, and I think it's going to look awesome. So that is fantastic. Go over here. So, and then I had so many things up on the menu when you first click on it, and I moved the completed works page. I took it off the menu and just linked to it from my About Me section, and then I did the same thing with my flosstube video stuff. I just put that linked on my About Me section. There's just too many things on the menu. It's just way too busy. Busy. So, right here. So that'll be good. That'll just make the blog more readable. There we go. busy day ahead. Lots of stuff to do. Lots of stuff to do. Come all the way back over here. It's one of these. Oh, there it is. Right here. There we go. Oh, and I ordered some more floss. I did it differently this time. I'm going to try some different people because I think it's important to kind of just experiment around and just see who does good work and who I could recommend, that kind of thing. I bought it off of an Etsy site where it was like 10 skeins for $7 with free shipping. And I'm like, holy cow, that's a really good deal. So, and really fast shipping too. Like I'm supposed to get it like in like 3 days or something because I'll probably just drop it in the mail. And I think the person lives in California, so it really shouldn't take very long to get to me. And it was mostly for Old World Map 2 because I definitely am missing. That's why I'm so slow to finish that bottom section on that page because I keep stopping and looking for stuff and can't find it. Can't find it very well. But so I'll get those in. I'll still stitch some more. I'm going to stitch more on the top section and get a bunch more done on that. And then when I get the bottom stuff, I'll be able to just jump right in. And keep on stitching. Here. But oh, Ronnie Waterloo place is looking good, guys. Oh my goodness. Looking so good. I'm just kind of finishing up that page, you know, just grabbing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I really could probably finish that page before this week and get started on the next one, which would be awesome. But we'll see, because I always do, like, after my videos, my focus for the first couple of days is always on stitching more. So I gotta get more stitched. Gotta make some progress. Well, I get all excited when I do the video and motivated to stitch, and so when I do that, I'm ready to, you know, move on and do some more progress. And so I'd start that way, and then I from there. Good gracious, my brain. Is that 3 or 4? That's just 3. Okay, good. And that is it for this one. Yay! Look how much of a mess the back of this project is. You can kind of see. It's not bad. It only matters what it looks like on front. It only matters that way. Alright, so got that color done. And then let's see what else I can do here. What other color? I don't have a pen up here. I wonder if I could just use the highlighter. Maybe I can just use the highlighter to kind of highlight the... Yeah, I guess that will work. Boop, boop, doo, 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 doo. It's better than nothing and not knowing what I've done and what I've not done, I suppose. There we go, there we go, there we go. Let me pull up this next one. Get some 317 here. There it is. 317. And scissors. There they are. Shoo. There we go. There, oh, sorry. There we go. Boop, boop, ba doo. But we're coming up on the end of the year progress video. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see where we're at. And then we'll do a, I don't know, well, we need to really do a recap as far as like all the projects that I have. How do you guys like those? I like those personally, so we'll see. We'll see. All right, so this one is a little different. I can actually come over. I want to do a little bit right here because I can. Because I can. All right, so this one starts right here. Ah. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I'm off camera because I'm holding this really super close. I think I'm going to need to buy a stronger pair of reading glasses, sadly. Because even the reading glasses now are kind of going out of... Ooh, I have one of my friction pens up here. My green one. I can do... Just bring this down a little further. Let's see, that's a partial. And the 10, 10, and then that's a smaller one. So we're just going to do this a little bit. Now remember, these are these colored pens, the ones that you have to use heat to get rid of the... So I'll wash with hot water when I reach that point. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So we'll just do that so we can come down here. I'm just going to go all the way down here. But, what else? I'm trying to think. Thinking it's hard first thing in the morning. I only have a little bit of caffeine in my system. To start getting back and taking pictures of my stuff on Instagram. I really do. It's so easy. It's just, honestly, it's a social, I'm not really on social media platforms. I mean, I've got YouTube and I've got a bit of a Facebook personal, but I'm not on it that much. But I should post some stuff on Instagram. It's easy to do. Just take a picture, put it right up there. So that way I can show you guys what rainy Waterloo looks like right now. Okay, that's good for this. Go back up. So No, I did not watch the brawl, for the football brawl. I'm so, like, football doesn't really interest me that much anymore. I don't know, I just evolved. I will come back to it. I've always gone through these periods of where I just like, meh, and then I'll come back years later or whatever, months later, years later. I'm totally into hockey right now. Watch a hockey game. I watch at least one hockey game every day. And sometimes 2 or 3. Just more exciting, more fun. Learning a lot. But there was a brawl in the hockey game in the Calgary Arizona game. I always want to call them Phoenix. But goalies got into it. You don't usually see that happen too often. But anyway, what more concerns me is that poor quarterback from Alabama. Even though I'm a Georgia fan, a Georgia grad, and I don't like Alabama at all, I feel very, very bad for that quarterback because he's very talented. And, well, you guys may not know. So the guy's name is Tua. Oh, I'm going to totally butcher his last name. Tagovailoa. Just call him Tua. Everybody calls him Tua. And he was tackled yesterday in such a way that his right leg was sort of, he kind of fell on his knee in a sense, and the way that he was tackled and fell, basically what happened was he fractured the back part of his hip joint. So if his hip is the ball of his femur, and this is the C cup of his hip joint, so much force pushed up this way that basically broke through the back of the hip back here, the pelvis, and fractured through, and this dislocated up through his hip like that. And I can't even imagine the pain that poor kid was in. I mean, he looked like he was in excruciating pain on the field. He couldn't, the leg wouldn't do anything. I mean, it was just crazy. What did I do with my... I can't talk and stitch at the same time. There we go. Oh, I felt so bad for that kid. And so... Let me come over here. The thing is that when you hear about a quarterback getting hurt, or a football player getting hurt like that, where they break their hip, dislocate, you think about Bo Jackson. Because back in the day, Bo Jackson was the man. And then he got tackled awkwardly. Well, he was running, and then as he got tackled, he landed very awkwardly. I want to say, was it his right hip as well? I can't remember. And what happened with him was the damage was severe, that even though he was able to, have surgery and eventually come back to playing, what happened to his hip was he tore a bunch of little blood vessels that fed the ball, the femur, all these little blood vessels that feed the bone. When he dislocated it, it tore a lot of those. Initially, that didn't look like a big deal, or they didn't realize it because they didn't have like super high-tech MRIs that could see those kinds of things. But what happened is later on, like a year or two later, he started having this condition called avascular necrosis, which is where the blood supply to part of his body, in this case it was the ball, the whole hip area, the blood supply had gone away, so the bone started to die. And he ended his career because of that. He got severe hip arthritis, and the hip was in so much pain from the necrosis that he just couldn't play anymore. And that is a concern with this kid. I don't know if I don't see why it's not possible. But hold on, I'm just looking at my stuff here. I don't know if we've seen yet a football player or any contact sports player go through, say, like a total hip replacement and be able to participate in sports again. In total hip replacement, I don't know tons about it in people, but in terms of return to athletic, I don't know if they would be like, well, we don't recommend that you go into contact sports. I don't know. But anyway, it's just really sad, and it's very worrisome for this kid. He was going to be like, well, there were some people who were saying he could be the number 1 overall pick in the draft coming up, and while he'll still probably be picked somewhere, he's likely not to be the first overall pick, just because of the injury and the risk that it creates in him as a player. But hopefully he had insurance, which has saved a lot of other players' bacon in the past. So what football players can do to protect themselves, especially if it's pretty much assumed that you're a first-round draft pick. And I think it's only for those that are first-round draft picks. There is a kind of insurance that they can buy that will insure them against injury in that final season of college that would deflate their draft status. It's one of those things where because they're a first-round pick, and it's sort of like, well, they're about to get guaranteed money. How do I explain this? They're about to get guaranteed money, and it is something that I don't know how the premiums work as far as like paying for it. I think they might. I'm not sure if they pay for it up front or if they just say, "Listen, we'll pay for it once we get drafted and we get our money. We'll pay for it then. If we didn't need it, we'll just pay you guys back. And if we do need it, then the premiums come off of the money that was that would be awarded, so to speak." Oh man, is it Jalen Ramsey? No, it's not. Is it Jalen Ramsey? I can't remember the name of the kid who got hurt for Notre Dame, who was going to be top 5 pick a couple years ago and got like ridiculous injury, like fracture, dislocation, whatever, in his knee in his last game. And he dropped from a first round, surefire top 5 draft pick to like the second or third. I think it was the second round, maybe third round. The Cowboys picked him up. And at the time, it was like, dude, you're wasting a pick. You're picking him way too early. Guy is a mess. We don't even know if he was going to be able to walk normally again. And actually, he's now like one of the best linebackers in the game. He did totally recover, so that was awesome. But what happened to him is because he lost millions, because there's significant fall off in salary from number 5 overall pick to, say, number 100 overall pick, talking millions. He had insurance, so he actually got like, I don't know, $2 or $3 million or something because of that. And that was just basically some insurance against his future earnings. And that paid off really, really well for him because it still helped him and his family. It still provided some security for them. And it was just good. It was just good. I really like that. They've, ever since, I want to say, is it Lloyd's of London that did it? That ever since they've started doing that, a lot of the top players, I mean, you should, if you're going to be a first-round draft pick, especially top 10, you should absolutely have this insurance. And I'm quite confident that Alabama would have been like, dude, you got to get this insurance. So, all right, let me highlight this part too. So he'll still get money. It won't, even if he drops, he'll still get money. Which, honestly, that is a lot of what this is about. I mean, these guys, a lot of them don't come from any kind of financial stability. And their hope is that they can springboard this NFL you know, make some money and for however long they can, as they should. Sorry, I'm just highlighting. That actually worked all right. That worked all right. But anyway, I'm sure it'll come out in the next couple of days that he probably has that insurance, and so from that perspective, it's okay. So he can literally just focus on getting healthy, getting back to, hopefully, first of all, just walking, getting over surgery and everything, and get back into that. So, but crazy, man, totally crazy. So, oh, stretch the back. Stretch the back. I had to go into the chiropractor again. Oh, I told you guys about that. And that helped for a little bit, but I need to start walking a lot more. And yeah. Alright, so now we're going to do some red. Some hot red. I'm going to fill this in. Or it's red-orange. It's red-orange, really. Orange-red. Red-orange. So, anyway. Tua has a brother that... I think doesn't Tua have a brother that also attends Alabama? The family is from Hawaii, I believe. But, yeah, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Do, 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 do. Which pulls me back to thinking about my boy Vladimir Tarasenko, my favorite hockey player, who is out for the season. Well, it's possible he'd come back in the last month, so he might be able to come back for the playoffs, but I don't know how true that is. A couple years ago, he dislocated his shoulder in the last game of the regular season. They weren't making the playoffs, so it didn't really hurt the team that much, and he had dislocated it, I think torn some ligaments or something, and had to have surgery and recover. And it took him a while. It took him, even when the next season started, it took him a couple months to kind of start getting back into the proper, doing things the way that he could. Because it was his shooting, it was his left elbow, or his left shoulder. Was it his left shoulder or his right shoulder? Now I can't remember. But anyway, but he tore it again in a game earlier this season, and it was sort of an innocuous-looking thing where he had raised his arm up straight up ahead of him and was trying to sort of block off another player with his arm extended. And literally just the act of extending his arm and having the player kind of, did something to his hand at that time, popped the shoulder out again and probably tore something else, or at least loosened. And I don't like that. I don't like that it was the same shoulder. It makes me worried that long term that it's going to be something that shortens his career or causes an issue. I don't know. But I don't like it. Pulled right out. Meep, meep, meep. Birds chirping outside. I haven't uncovered the birds yet. That's why they're super quiet. I haven't done anything with them yet. So, I think I need to cover them up a little earlier. I think I need to cover them up when it gets dark, because they're acting a little cold, and I gotta rearrange some, you know, maybe put them closer to the vent or something. Just hang here a sec. That is a Fargo hair, if I ever saw one, right there. We were got up yesterday morning, or I was getting ready to get out of bed, and Mark came upstairs, and he's like, "Well, Fargo's escaped again." And I was like, "What?" I said, "I thought we got everything." You know, he's like, "Yep. Well, he was outside, and then I've been calling him and calling him and calling him, and he's nowhere to be found." So. And I was like, "Oh man!" So we started getting dressed, and we were like, "All right," and we're like, all, you know, rotten Fargo, rotten Fargo, and we get ready, and we open the door, because we have a door that separates the top level where the bedrooms are from the rest of the house to keep the dogs away. We open up the door to go downstairs, and there's Fargo at the top of the stairs, just like he always is. And we stopped, and we just looked at each other, and like, okay. He probably was just being lazy and wasn't listening, and wasn't coming when called. Silly dog. Thought he had escaped again. It's incredible that he's escaped so many times in the past. Like when I first got him, he escaped so many times. He's black and white, mostly white. And we have so many wild animals around this area, and hawks and owls and things like that, that I'm still shocked that he's never been, like, picked up. We've got a lot of trees in our backyard, so I don't think from above that you can see into our backyard great, which has probably helped him out a lot. But it's still surprising, because he just, from above, he probably just is such an easy target. Just get rid of this. So I've been listening to a podcast lately. It's an NPR podcast, and it's called How I Built This. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's on the radio. They have their radio on the weekends, and they do that. And Mark had told me about it, because he listens to NPR when he goes down to see the bees, and he said, you know, it's really good. And I'm always fascinated in listening to how people built things, like how, and it's businesses basically, whether it's websites or like Evite, Dippin' Dots, hold on, type this down, Dippin' Dots, what was the other one that I just listened to the other day? Life is Good. The Life is Good guys. That was really fascinating, because that's owned by a couple of brothers who, when they both had gone to college, but they were always looking to hustle, and they thought it would be they wanted to do like a t-shirt business, and this was back in the early 90s, early mid 90s or something. And they would literally, I don't know if they had a long-term plan or not, but they would come up with these different types of, you know, sayings and whatnot, and they would have t-shirts made up. They'd make up like 50 t-shirts, and then they would literally go to college campuses and walk through the dorms, knock on doors, and sell t-shirts door to door. And they did this for like 3 or 4 years, like just constantly trying to come up with a good design. And they had created this stick figure they called Jake that was just, you know, if you've seen Life is Good stuff, that's Jake, is the guy that's always in the middle of the t-shirt. And they would try different things with him, and they had brainstormed, and they had done this like 6-week long through the summer, I guess, visiting different, or not summer, fall, visiting college campuses and doing stuff. And they came back and they had a party, and they invited all their friends over, and they put up all their designs on the wall that they had been working on for the last 6 weeks. And they said, come on over and just write on the wall next to the design what you think of it, and, you know, and let's go from there. And everybody was attracted to this picture of this guy who they had put a let's see, what was it? I think they like put like a beanie, like a painter's like beanie or painter's hat, whatever, on his head, and he had like an easel, like, I don't know if he was painting or drawing. I think he was painting, but he had cut a couple things in his hand, like for painting, and he had this big old grin on his face, and it just underneath of it said draw, or paint or something like that. And everybody was like, you know, this is awesome, this is the one. And so they basically like printed off, I think, like 35 t-shirts of like one design or whatever, and took them to a festival that they had a booth at, along with other t-shirts, and they sold out of all those 35 t-shirts were gone in an hour. And they're like, okay, maybe this is something we should follow. So then they started expanding from there, and having Jake do other things. But the goal is that, you know, do what makes you happy, and be optimistic, and life is good. Do what you love. And it just exploded from there. And it was just a very interesting story. If you're interested, and you can just get a podcast app if you don't already have one, and it's just how I made this is what it's called. But that was one of the better ones that I listened to, because I was just like, I don't know. It was just, I'm fascinated by people who just take chances like that, and let's just do it. Just thinking. My head went off into a thing of thinking. So awesome. So awesome. Oy. me some Diet Dr. Pepper. My magic elixir helps me go. Help me go, go, go. Uh-oh, getting tangled again. Hold on, I'll let it fall. Here we go. So, I got a 4-day weekend for Thanksgiving. Pretty happy about that. Primarily just because my normal day off during the week is Thursday, and everybody gets Thursday off that week. But blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so, but it gives me Friday to be home and by myself and get some stuff done. So I treasure my time alone. Some of us still need our alone time. No, I do. I gotta have some every once in a while, or I just kind of go crazy. Crazy. Mark's been watching nonstop Disney Plus since the network came out. He's very happy with it. Oh, I could have put one right there, I think. Yep. Let me put this one right here. So, we've watched a bunch of different Avengers type movies. And The Mandalorian, of course. I watched the first episode. I still need to watch the second one. And it's cool looking. I like it. Definitely has that old school Star Wars kind of vibe to it. And I am going to tie this off because definitely could have gone farther, but I'm just decreasing my productivity. But so a lot of that going on. A lot of Marvel and Pixar and Star Wars and all that good stuff. But what else going on? Not a whole lot. The bees were doing good. So what we're going to do with the bee site, or what I'm doing today with the bee blog, is I've really got to put together a bunch of videos. And I need to do another cross-stitch pattern site. I didn't do it last week, and I didn't put any pressure on myself to do it last week, because I just didn't have time. But I definitely want to put some more stuff out. But I'm letting myself wait for the inspiration, because if I push myself, I just won't get it done. But if I'm motivated, then I'm just doing a boatload of things. And so what was I talking about? I was thinking about how much I cleaned this Thursday too. Got my desk cleaned off and got some things put aside, and Well, this is going to look a lot different. I will not be doing any more on this project this week. I've gotten a lot done, and I really need to get on to doing Old World Map 2, and maybe some It as well. Oh, that reminds me. One more thing to do on It as well. But it's good, dudes. It's good. Life is good. Just gotta try not to overload yourself sometimes. Kinda couldn't be helped, but there's a lot of good stuff going on at work. And there's a lot to learn. Oh, so anyway, let me go back. Speaking of a lot to learn, it's the B site. So I got all these videos of like when we did our extraction, and I want to do a video on manual versus electrical extraction, which, oh man, that extractor, that automatic extractor, not automatic, but that electrical extractor that spun all that just really saved our bacon. That was such a labor saver. A labor saver. Oh, I like that idea. But I gotta really focus on that. So it's both sites today, so I'll just go back and forth, depending upon what level of inspiration I feel. But you can definitely check out. I've got some different things on the globe, on the website, on the globe. Where'd that come from? I have some links to some different cross stitch tutorials. Of course, I've got the pattern sites. I should put a link to where you can get cross-stitch supplies and stuff, and put that on there. You guys know all this stuff, but this is mostly for just new people, to the people who don't know what flosstube is, people who are just stitching and have no idea that there's this community online that everybody talks to each other and shares info. And I think it would be awesome if we could just figure out how to bring more people into the hobby. It would help keep afloat some of these designers and shops and physical stores, brick and mortar stores. It would be good. It would be really good. Going to do these full cross stitches all the way across. This is such a tiny little spot. I'm trying to fit this stuff in. Pope, don't poke. Let me unwind this. Unwind, unwind. So that's how we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. What we're doing. Really have made a lot of progress on this one. I think this was one of the ones that I started this year, right? I think so. goes the weasel. Okay, a couple more stitches. My floss can make it, I'm telling you. I'm going to go and do one over here. And I'm going to tuck it in. Boom, 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 boom. There. All right. That was pretty good. Filled in all that. Did a little bit more up here. Got this border down here. It's going to look like something. That's cool. That's very cool. I'm going to take it out of the hoop. Ta-da! Still got to fix all that up there. But yeah, just probably it's all the same lettering all the way across that I just need to fill in. And that'll be cool. Get that done and be able to move on to the next section. Oh. All right. Shoo. That will cover it. That will cover it for this week, kids. Yeah, I'm gonna go load this video up, work on some stuff. And I'm thinking. And yeah, we're good. And oh man, I'm distracted about thinking about all the things that I need to do. But thanks for hanging out with me. I am gonna put some stuff on Instagram today, and I'm gonna put some. Like I said, check out the blog. We're gonna be changing things up. I hope that more people will be easily found by changing up the format. So hopefully that will work. Thank you guys so much for all your comments. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't given me a thumbs up already. I appreciate that if you've made it all the way to the end. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy stitching. Hope you made a lot of progress today. Keep working. I will see you guys later.